Dun dun dun! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for what is going to be nothing short of another jam-packed daily cryptocurrency market update with yours truly, All in Crypto. I'm wishing you a wonderful day wherever you are and a happy Monday. The dun 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 at the start of the video, of course, was in relation to the news that I think is gripping pretty much all the headlines at the moment in the cryptocurrency space, and that is in regards to Mt.Gox finally paying back the unfortunate victims that fell victim to the hack that took place all those years ago. Now, Mt.Gox has been a consistent thorn in my side as long as I've been in the cryptocurrency space. We'll show you a video that we did, I think it was only 5 years ago now, where we looked at some similar concerns that we see today in regards to Mt.Gox. The difference being that this time, it does very much look like people are going to be getting paid back that Bitcoin. And of course, this begs the question, well, are they going to sell and dump that onto the market? And my answer to that is I don't think everybody will. I think whenever there's kind of already uncertainty in the cryptocurrency markets and you get news like this, it's often over amplified. And actually, sometimes bad news, or what's sort of deemed as bad news, can turn out to be a kind of pivotal point for the market. Certainly as Bitcoin, crypto more broadly has been going through a bit of a corrective phase with a lot of the uncertainty that's going on in regards to the macroeconomic environment on the back end of obviously inflationary fears, economic outlook, Fed not really giving too much guidance and a very rough sort of forecast in regards to rate cuts. And of course, that's affecting things more broadly. And that's the more important thing to watch. Have you got the macro right? And then the kind of micro being crypto in the sort of asset ecosystem, the risk asset ecosystem, you know, should just fall into place. And that's what we're personally betting on here at the channel. So we're going to be starting this video off by looking at the news. Actually, last week we had news that Germany, or a German company, I don't know if it was one of the large banks, were actually dumping $3 billion worth of Bitcoin's ETF. At the same time, Michael Saylor was buying, so this was largely absorbed. But actually, this is part of the ebb and flows of markets. It's not just going to be continual inflows. I think IBIT is one of the only ones that's seen consistent inflows, but some of the others have been affected, just like we saw when we had the first Bitcoin spot ETF enabled. There was a lot of outflows coming from Grayscale in regards to Genesis, so on and so forth. We'll cover it all in this video. We also do have more and more companies, actually, institutions, banks, even governments buying Bitcoin through these ETFs. So I think a lot of it's going to be absorbed. We're going to be looking at a CoinShares report as we do every Monday in regards to ETPs relating to crypto and the kind of inflows or outflows that we are seeing. We saw outflows last week. But this is part and parcel. Then we're going to be diving over to the Bitcoin chart and doing a whole range of things in between to try and keep you guys entertained during what seems like a rather dull period in the cryptocurrency space. But you have to have that bigger picture. You have to have that broader context of where the markets are at, how the cycles work, where the sort of macroeconomic environment is going. And our bet is that the dollar's coming down. Inflation isn't really an issue, and we're getting a lot more confirmation of that. We weren't in the camp of, oh, inflation is here. Here's the second leg, the 1970s style second leg. That was the classic. Just like when they upped the debt ceiling, everyone was calling for a crash, not understanding the situation with the reverse repo. Inflation, I don't think, is going to be an issue. I think the dollar's going to come down. On the back end of interest rates coming down, I think markets are going to do well. And I think that's why you saw the likes of Stan Druckenmiller move from NVIDIA down to the IWM, which is the Russell 2000, which is a basket of smaller cap stocks. I think housing is going to do well. I think we're in a really bullish environment, guys, and the cryptocurrency space is going to outperform. There's going to be periods of turbulence, just like when you get on a flight. You hope you don't have that turbulence and it's smooth sailing, but sometimes in flights, and I'm sure we've all been on them, when you feel that kind of drop in your stomach, that can happen. And that's what I think is a good analogy for the crypto space is currently going through. So let's start things off with the pressing matter of the day, and that is, of course, what Mt.Gox are doing. Now, this is from Charles Edwards over on Twitter, somebody that I'm not following, but he reports Germany is dumping $3 billion worth of Bitcoin. Careful. And now Mt.Gox is dumping 9 billion Bitcoin, $9 billion worth of Bitcoin. So Mt.Gox aren't dumping $9 billion worth of Bitcoin. They are paying it back to creditors. And this, of course, is the letter. Now, it's interesting that this is coming from or starting on the beginning of July 2024, because we're also likely going to get an Ethereum spot ETF in July 2024. The question you've really got to ask and answer is, well, what happens to this $9 billion worth of Bitcoin? There's a lot of people out there that follow the cryptocurrency markets that will expect higher prices for their Bitcoin and likely won't sell it. They are not dumping $9 billion worth of Bitcoin. They are paying it back to creditors. The outflows that we saw in regards to what is happening over in Germany is part and parcel of any market, ladies and gentlemen. Things don't just get accumulated consistently. That's one big player doing what they need to do or feel they need to do. It's not a reflection of the overall environment that we're in. And I want to take us way back to one of the first videos I ever made. And the title of this video is The Mt.Gox Situation Won't Affect Bitcoin's Prices. And you can see Bitcoin here was at 18K. I wish we could all go back. And of course, I was lucky enough to be in the crypto space and capitalize off that opportunity. Remember, we had to go through March 2020 and all that. And I'm telling you, the same opportunity is here today in regards to when I made this video back then. The context in regards to Mt.Gox is slightly different. There was rumors and lots of news in regards to them repaying creditors. However, we said it's largely not going to affect things. And Mt.Gox has been a thorn in my side throughout my entire crypto journey. I'm sure many of you that have been following me for a long time. You can see the price of Ethereum here, $500. You know, XRP, same price that it is today, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, but third. Litecoin was fifth. Oh, how times have changed. Chainlink at 12. You know, we made a lot of money in the last sort of bear and bull. Obviously, we made the money in the bull market, but it's because we accumulated in the bear market. And throughout that kind of period of accumulation, which you're in today, ladies and gentlemen, you're breaking to the upside of it. We just need that confirmation on the broader macro. And this sort of short-term news is exactly that. We'll cover it. We'll keep you up to date with it. We'll answer the questions you have on it. But pay attention to that big picture. Don't let the news and the ding-dongs on Twitter shake you out of what is an amazing opportunity. And we've stressed and continue to stress, walking, talking, quacking like a duck, the environment that I believe we're now in, and the fact that there's a lot more evidence to support the upside argument until we see reasons to pivot from it. If we start to see reasons to sort of say, okay, right, this isn't going to be a good environment for risk, crypto is going to take the biggest beating out of it. You know, it's the puny little weakling in the room. The big bully's going to come along and the dollar sort of beat everybody up, but crypto's going to get the worst beating because it can't defend itself. You know, until we see reason to make that pivot, we don't. And we continue to assess on a day-by-day basis the charts, the economic data, and what that leads us to believe is going to happen with risk. And I think I keep bringing up Stan Druckenmiller because he was such a green light for me, because he was essentially backing up a lot of what we've said and the risk that we're taking in regards to being in the altcoin market. So Mt.Gox, of course, have around about $9 billion worth of Bitcoin. This was an article from May. So what are we in? June right now. We already knew this was coming. It's likely going to be starting in July. The question is, does this get absorbed? We are seeing just a kind of awakening, the Bitcoinization, if you will, of companies. So just in Japanese public company, Meta Planet issues 1 billion yen in a 0.5 bond to buy more Bitcoin. Dell, we looked at Michael Dell, who I think he owns over 50% of Dell shares. You know, are they going to do something similar to what MicroStrategy, or not similar to what MicroStrategy is doing? Maybe something like what Tesla tried to do and then pivoted from, but will eventually do. I think we're going to see just a real great fundamental time for Bitcoin more broadly. If we look at another sort of metric that we like to look at, which is CoinShares report, go give these guys a follow, well worth it. And also check out their Medium. I check them every single Monday morning just to see what the sort of institutional demand for crypto is. So this is volume 188, digital asset funds flows weekly report, and you can see further outflows of $584 million, highlighting a true correction is underway. And I like to see outflows, and I want to explain that, because when you see outflows, you know, when you're seeing really aggressive inflows, you typically know that a correction may be coming. When you see outflows, you know, you want to see the outflows. You want bad news almost in the investment arena, because it's the perfect time to buy. What is the sentiment in a bear market? Certainly at the bottom of a bear market, it's you know, horrific, it's diabolical. That's the time you want to be taking advantage. You don't want to be in that crowd of people, the sheeple, that most people are in, unfortunately. You know, feeding into the narrative, scared, you know, kind of amped up. You want to stick to the charts, understand that I believe this is just a correction in what is a broader uptrend, not just for Bitcoin, but for risk more broadly. I still think the dollar's going to come down. I think interest rates are going to lead that. Obviously, yields are going to lead that first and foremost. And that's going to see the markets, I believe, do quite well. So let's digest this a little bit more. So digital asset investment products saw a second consecutive week of outflows, totaling $584 million. Shaving off 1.2 billion. We believe this is a reaction to the Fed's pessimism amongst investors for interest rate cuts by the Fed this year. We've had a year of readjusting. We went into 2024, not that long ago, and saying people have got rate cuts wrong. We're not gonna have 3 cuts in the first half of the year, or even anywhere near it. We said it's going to be a lot less. Markets are going to battle with that, but the resumption of the sort of direction that we went in, remember, sideways period of inflation, the continued downtrend of that. We've got PCs coming at the end of the week, which we'll keep you up to date on, is what we're really looking for. But multi-asset projects saw. This is interesting because what are we watching? We're watching things like Bitwise's BITW, which is a top 10 crypto index offered by Bitwise, Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund, 21 Shares Digital Large Cap Fund. Saw inflows suggesting investors seen the weakness in the altcoin market as a buying opportunity. Who's buying through ETPs, guys? It's not you and me. I'm retail as well. I hate it when you see people coming out and calling people plebs and peasants. Well, you need to not be one of them in order to call others that. I mean, I guess a pleb and a peasant and a retail. I'm for the people. That's what this whole channel is all about. I can't stand it when I see people who really aren't warranted to call others peasants and plebs that. Okay, yeah, we call people sheeple, but I guess I was a sheep at one point until things started to kind of not make sense. And I think Bitcoin opened my eyes up quite heavily. So let's dive in a little bit further. So Ethereum did not escape the negative sentiment, seeing outflows of 580 or 400, 580, 58. Come on, Allincrypto, get your words out. 58 million in outflows, while a range of altcoins saw inflows after recent price weakness, most notably Solana. Solana's number 3, guys. It is. It's just so states. Whether it turns out to be a bit of a Yahoo story or not, we'll see. Litecoin, Polygon, and you saw multi-asset products see $98 million. Now, isn't that interesting? So I was going to start on the Bitcoin chart, but we're not. We're going to go to our multi-asset products, which we're bullish on. In fact, we think there's a 10x in some of these coming. We've got, if you want to become a Patreon, guys, do consider it. We've got small Bitcoin mining stocks that I think are going to do well. I am exploring the realms of, if you have a company, being able to buy assets. It's jurisdiction by jurisdiction. I'm very careful to say stuff like this because I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a legal advisor. I'll leave that comment for maybe another video. But do consider becoming a Patreon. We've got great opportunities there. This is so textbook. This is Bitwise Top 10 Crypto Index Fund. This is going from $34, in my opinion, all the way up to $300. What's crypto going to be doing in that environment? Just like we used Coinbase. This is 21 shares. 21. Savage. Crypto Basket Index, ETPs. You can see we've got this going from, in a not too long period, $12 all the way up to 50. 3, and obviously Grayscale, Digital Large Cap Fund. And we've got these so right, guys. And people look at these targets and they go, Allincrypto doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, we did on Ethereum, which I'm trying to find. Ethereum made our target. MicroStrategy made our target. Coinbase made our short-term target and is now on its way to our higher target. Marathon's likely going to make its way to our target. When we look at crypto products, they're all very bullish. And that backs up where we think the macro environment's going. That backs up where we think Bitcoin is going. Yes, it's a pullback, but it is a pullback in what is a broader uptrend, in my opinion. We're still waiting for Total 2 to have its day, coming back to the 30 weekly moving average. Courses coming soon, guys, to help you guys. And I truly, truly believe this, and we'll make it as affordable as possible, that if you understand the markets technically and how market cycles work, which is what Charles Dow did, which is what Stan Weinstein did, which is what Wyckoff did. Everyone only talks about Wyckoff accumulating and distribution, but there's 2 middle parts to that. You have the cheat codes to the markets, quite literally. And we're living proof that it actually works, and we've done very well as a result of it all. So I don't want to go too much into the macro. I'll probably do a video this week. We're still waiting for the dollar to roll. I'm bullish on bonds, which means I'm bearish on yields. It's just a case of waiting for things to happen. Wheat collapsed. Oil's really one to watch. Oh, the oil chart, again, is the bane of my life because of that March 2020 sort of period. Gold just having a bit of a pullback after doing very well. You know, there's nothing out of the realms of normality here. Obviously, Bitcoin versus the SPY. SPY's been doing really well. I think it's going to pull back and Bitcoin might do well against it. And obviously, Bitcoin against the NASDAQ. Bitcoin against gold. So we're still bullish on those charts, which means we ultimately think Bitcoin is going to be one of the best performers. We'll do a hell of a lot of a longer video in regards to Turtle 2 versus Bitcoin, Bitcoin dominance, and exactly when we think and what you should watch out for in regards to alt season. But it is coming, ladies and gentlemen, and we think the macroeconomic environment supports it. So that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed presenting it. If you're not already a subscriber, what are you doing? You should already be subscribed to what is one of the fastest growing cryptocurrency channels that there is, period. And on that note, I want to say a massive thank you to each and every one of you that support me day in, day out. If you look at the views we get on these just daily market updates, they compete with the channels on the hundreds of thousands of views. And actually, in regards to certain altcoins, we have some of the most viewed content on YouTube on a consistent basis. That's only made possible for you guys. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. On that note, I'm going to love and leave you. Have a magic Monday, and I'll see you all in the next one.